In this tutorial, we're going to take a look at how to create a self-checking activity where students are sorting images into different categories. So for example, if a student takes the orange juice and they drag it into gas, it bounces back. But if they pull it into the liquid section, then it stays where it's supposed to be. It's categorized. So let's take a look at how to do that. The first thing I'm going to do is add a gradient to this background by right-clicking on my flip chart page and choosing Set Background. Now I have two colors here. I'm going to change one of them. I'm going to change the black to a green. So if I right-click, I can choose my color picker, and I'm actually going to choose from my color palette over here where I've already brought in a color scheme. Then to choose which gradient you would like to use, select the gradient button, and I like the dark to light from the top to the bottom. So when I hit OK, that goes ahead and puts that gradient onto the page. Now I'm ready to go ahead and create my sorting boxes. So I'm going to get my shape tool here, and I'm choosing the rectangle. Doesn't matter what color I have to start with, I can change that in a minute. And I'm clicking and dragging from the top left to the bottom right. Then I'm going to go ahead and get my fill bucket here and select from my color palette. I'm going to select the purple, and I'm dumping that on the inside and the outside, the outline. Then I can get my select tool and select the shape. And if I like to turn down the transparency a little bit, I can use the translucency slider, which is in your marquee handles toolbar. It's one that looks like a sunshine, kind of has some dots on top of it. So I can set that however I want. Then I'm ready to add my title onto my category here. So I'm choosing my text tool, that big T, and I can see that my font is white and the back of my text box is transparent because it has that X there. I'm going to go ahead and type the word solid. And then I'm going to get my select tool, which looks like an arrow, and I want those to be lined up. So I'm going to select both of them and do a right click and align by the center. So when I have those aligned, and you can see it's kind of off center, the reason for that is my word is not in the center of my text box. So if I double click inside this text box and select all my text, I can set that to center in the text box, and then I'll have the correct alignment. If I'm going to move my word up to the top, I'm going to go ahead and select it, and I can use the arrow tools on my keyboard, or I can move freely using the marquee handles toolbar. So once I have that set how I would like to have it set, I'm going to go ahead and select it again, and I'm going to duplicate it using my marquee handles here. It's going to duplicate both things since I have both things selected. So I'm going to use the duplicate button, and then I'm going to use the move freely button to move that over to the right, and then I'm going to duplicate that again, and again move it over to the right. And then from there it's really simple, just double click and change my text so that it says whatever it is that I would like it to say. All right, now it's time to turn each of those into a container. So if I select the shape that I want to turn into a container, and I open the properties browser by going to View and Browsers, and I'm going to come all the way over to the fifth icon from the left, and it kind of looks like a piece of paper with some check boxes. I've got the property browser open. Then I'm going to be up at the top. I'm sorry, not up at the top, down at the bottom. I'm going to go to container, and if your container section is closed, you just hit the plus to open it. And I'm going to say can contain a keyword. So I'm going to choose keyword from the drop down, and then where it says contain words on the right hand side, I'm going to hit that little ellipse so it tells me, or it asks me what I want it to contain. I just want it to contain anything that has a keyword of capital letter S. So I hit add, I typed in S, now I'm going to hit OK. So I'm going to do the same thing for liquid can contain keyword, and I am going to change that to add L. And OK. The other thing I forgot on the first one I need it to do is I need it to completely contain, and that our rule by default is already there. So it says contain rule, completely contain. I do want that set. So that's something to check on. Again, I'm going to come down here, can contain keyword. The word I want it to contain is actually just a letter, and I want it to contain gas, or G. Okay, now that I've got those set, I can go ahead and select them all and right click and lock them in place. That way they don't move around when I'm in presentation mode. I can tell I'm in presentation mode up here at the top right hand corner when this little icon is blue. Okay, now I'm going to add the images to the page that I want to be sorting. So to add images, you can either copy and paste them in, or I can go to Insert and Media. And on my desktop, I have a folder that I've already got images in, and I just select each image and hit Open to bring it in. Once I have that image in, I can use, if I use my select tool, I can click on it and I can resize the image. But when you're resizing, if you use this bottom right hand little toolbar, it is the one that looks kind of like a, it's got a screwdriver, or might look like a screw. That keeps your aspect ratio correct. It doesn't allow you to stretch an image so that it looks wonky. You can see if I use just the top or the bottom, that would stretch the image. Okay, so I'm going to bring in all of the images that I would like to sort. And I did that by, again, just going to Insert and Media. One by one, I brought those all in. Now I'm ready to assign some keywords to each of these images so that the container function works. So I can do that to multiple images at a time. I've got both of my images that are supposed to be solid here. If I use my select tool, I can select them both. Then if I go down and I'm in my property browser in the container section, I'm going to come down to return if not contained, and I'm going to set that to true. Then I'm going to go up to the top to the plus next to identification, and where it says keyword, I want to hit the little ellipse, and I'm going to add a keyword, and I want to add just the letter S as a keyword for both of those images, so I hit OK. I'm going to repeat that same process, return if not contained. I'm going to set that to true and change the keyword to L for my liquid, and then do the same for my gas images. Add G, OK, and return if not contained, true. Then I'm going to go ahead and file, save as, and I want to save this flip chart just so that I have a copy of it. I'm good to go there. And then let's just try it out. We're in presentation mode. It won't work if you're not in presentation mode. So make sure you're in presentation mode, which is blue. This icon at the top is blue. And you can see that if I try to put it as a liquid, it will bounce back. But if I put it under solid, it will stay there. So once I have that working, I can mix these images up. I'm going to go to design mode. It's a little easier to move things around now that I've got those container settings set. And I can mix up my images, add additional images, as long as I, again, change the keyword, and then I turn on return if not contained.